Hey guys, so today I'm going to be reviewing and reacting to Brockhampton's latest album, Iridescence. So if you don't know, Brockhampton has gone through a lot in the last year. 3 albums, they've lost a member, and now they come out with an album that they produced almost entirely in Abbey Road Studios, I think Hawaii as well. So it's really exciting. It's super exciting. I honestly want to get right into it. But if you don't know who Brockhampton is a group of guys, 6 guys at the moment. Kevin Abstract, Joba, Don McLennan, Matt Champion, Merlin, and Bareface. So 6 members, all of them fantastic, all of them have their strengths. They're great, iconic, historical, will be remembered for generations to come boy band. But let's just get right into it because I haven't listened to it and I've only listened to Jovert, and I also snuck in Tape. You can't blame me. I skimmed like the first 5 seconds of all the songs, but I haven't listened to much else. So I'm just really excited and I really want to listen to it like now. So let's just get right into it. One last thing, they said it was going to sound like the Carter 2. I did a quick skim of the Carter 2. The only track that really stood out to me was Fireman, because that sounded kind of like the sound they've been, from what I heard from Tape and Jovert, that sounds kind of like the sound they're going for, a sound they'd probably try to replicate or were inspired by. I also saw on Twitter, I think someone wanted it to sound like Fireman, but yeah, let's get right into it. First track, New Orleans, featuring Jaden Smith, produced by Bareface, Jabari, Joba, and Romil. So here we go.
They go run on what you living for. They should go finish what you started, what you put it for. Admitting that this the only sign of life. I'm throwing Hail Marys till I die. I'm moving on top and I'm up here somewhere. Out here, nobody can tell me shit. Never mind what I did back then. You should take a look at yourself instead. I've been down too long, cousin. I've been down too long, brother. Tell the world I ain't scared nothing. Tell the world I took it to the church and I said to him, I let God's pussy you.
That was a fantastic opener. That was a great opener. Everybody brought different energy to the table for this song. Dom killed it, I think. Dom really got me. There was no question in the first like 5-10 seconds. I knew this was a good song. I wanted to hear more. I wanted to hear the rest. Dom was just going in. Dom hasn't been a member for me that I highlight for his energy. I highlight him for his songwriting. And here his energy is just like, whoa, I wasn't expecting it. Everybody brought like really big energy to this track. The only person that stood out and didn't bring that energy was Matt Champion. He threw me out of the loop for the song, honestly. His energy just didn't match everybody else's, and it just didn't captivate me as much as the other people did. Even like Merlin, Joba, all of them. Kevin's beefed up his chorus, not just like one word. He almost had like his own verse for the chorus, and it was super catchy. I want to listen to it more. I really like the clicks, like the during the song. I'm not sure what those clicks were. The distorted, like futuristic percussion was really interesting. I really like the like RC car robot kind of drones. That I also like the 808s, the dun, dun, and then just the pause before they got into this, like, you know, the big chorus. Even Bareface did really well, but I felt like they could have maybe just not have had him there, or maybe participated a little bit more. A very hype track, really good. I'm excited for the album right now. Not sure why it was called New Orleans, but there are just a couple of references of, you know, their come up of how they're in London now, just showing off and everything, which is fantastic. Let's move on to the next song though, Thug Life. Depression still enough, right? I guess I'm always accepting. Can't help but meet the feeling with the familiar embrace. That was Thug Life by Brockhampton, produced by Bareface, Jabari, Joba, and Romil. I feel like this is, there's a similar song in the first album, but this feels like they really perfected this sound. Like they finally got the hang of it. They finally just, Wow. When I listen to this song, I like how they incorporated Bareface's verse into this one. It sounds better here than on the last one. I'm not sure why they had it in the first song. I really like the keys. They're so pretty. They're so like happy. I imagine like the setting is like this like riverbank, green hills, light blue sky, sunny, you know, just sun and everything. And then we have Dom having a verse, a fantastic verse, a tender, soft, reflective verse about his depression. So I just imagine him standing in like this bright nature setting with these two tall shadows that he's talking about that are trying to drown him in the river, and how he sees like coral, the beautiful coral reefs. I just love the contrast of, I can imagine like a piano in this setting and Dom's just standing there sorrowfully with like a microphone over this gorgeous instrumental, and it's just wow. I love the harmonies. I love the la-da-das from Bareface. I got goosebumps. It's more of a feeling I get from this song more than anything it has to say. It's just beautiful. Let's move on to the next song, Berlin.
Avoid the social litigation when the admiration turn into abrasion. Y'all can find another station. A bull at a car show, a spectacle. Lick my finger, but I found the wind. I follow that shit wherever it blows.
That was Berlin. I love Bareface's chorus. I love how like haunting it is. It's almost like, I feel like a zombie, but in the best way, because it's so hypnotizing that you're just like, she said, baby boy, why you looking grimy and shit. It's really good. It's probably the best part of this song, along with, I think Joba does a really good job at writing this very unorthodox, abrasive to your ears beat. Contrast, I do have some criticism. There's an awkward transition into like Dom's verse, like his second verse. The booms cancel out a word that he's trying to say, and it just sounds awkward because it feels like it almost should have been happening during like an interlude or something and not interrupting his verse. And Dom, he sounds the same. His flow sounds the same. He's got that just like breathy verse that always ends in a mic drop. I've heard it in Star. I've heard it in Gold. I've heard it in Fight. I've heard it in Swamp, I think. It just kind of takes away from anything new he could try or just switching it up a little bit. That's why I think I looked forward so much to him in New Orleans, because he changed the energy. So that's my only complaint about this song. And the track itself, the like abrasive beat, the dun dun dun, it's interesting, but I'm not a huge fan. I really like it with Bareface and Joba. Matt was okay. I almost lost him, to be honest. I will give him this though. I really like one line off of his verse where he says, metaphysics need another dimension I can enjoy. Basically, like he's already successful in this universe. Why not go to the next one? Let's move on to the next song, Something About Him.
I really like how you move when you act by yourself. I really like how you grow. You can take it to him. There's something about him. His kind, nice and flashy.
So that was Something About Him, produced by Jabari, Romil, and Kiko. So obviously this is Kevin Abstract singing about his boyfriend, Jaden Walker. It's cute, I'll give him that. It's a cute song. It's a tender sentiment I feel like people can identify with, people that, you know, just whoever they want to send it to, like their crush. They'll really like appreciate this song. However, there's something about this song that I don't enjoy too much. Feels like it was done in the spur of the moment. I feel like it's missing something. Kevin could push it to the next level, I think. Cute sentiment, instrumentally, vocally, we've heard better from Kevin. Let's move on to the next one, Where the Cash At.
Go to your house and dump like a trash man. Pull up in your where the assets, but there's someone that catches. I won't rather be on accident. Welcome to those bitches. I'm like the IRS. Pull up to your address. We'll deal with no entrance or with that pins of pets. But to be the SF. Myself know my skills. We'll start whenever I bliss. Bit the milk, put it on my wheel. You man, I see through your eyes into my season. Merlin, I do no hat trick. Just show where the cash at.
So that was Where the Cash At with Merlin and Matt Champion. All I have to say about that song is I want to hear it again. I want to hear it again and again and again and again. It's too short. It sounds like Skepta and Death Grips had a baby, and it's Merlin Wood. And this crazy instrumental, it sounds The instrumental, Death Grips. Merlin Wood, because of his slight accent, Skepta kinda. Except like, it's really catchy. It goes in. You could work out to this song. I could see myself running to this song. I could see myself like just lifting 5 pounds on each side. I can't. But like benching and just, oh, with the cash. It's so good. Felt like Matt could have done a little bit more with his verse, especially with how like the instrumental was. I wish he'd use that to his advantage, maybe to drop harder lines or something at the end, like at the apex of that. He didn't. It's still okay though, but Merlin takes the show. Let's move on to the next song, Wait.
Nieces, I've been feeling defeated, like I'm the worst in the boy band. I ain't sleeping some weekends. I really miss the old days before the cosigns. And she was mad cause I never wanted to show her off. And every time she took her bra off, my dick would get soft. I thought I had a problem. Kept my head inside the pillow.
Sign attached to our tempo. Life is a dish served cold most times.
I asked her why this world of echo and hate. She said don't let the song know you start dictating your fate.
So that was Wait. It's a heavy song where it sounds like Kevin, Dom, and Joba all get this weight off their chest. But I think Kevin's verse stands out the most because we hear Kevin in the chorus. We don't hear him rap as much. I'm not sure why. I always want more from him. We have his iconic verse from Star. We have his iconic verse from Junkie. It's been a while, I feel, since we've heard him talk about himself, and it hurts to hear him say I've been feeling defeated like the worst in the boy band. I think he's far from that. It hurts hearing these things from them and that they're struggling with that. But Kevin's verse, since we don't hear it very often from him, I think it hits you harder than other people because he's struggling. He talks about self-harm in the group with Ashlyn. He talks about feelings of nostalgia of the past before cosigns and road signs, before they got a record deal, before the Mirror drama came up. And he talks about him having to deal with struggling to define his sexuality in the past. Where he talks about how he had an ex-girlfriend who she would be mad because he never showed her off and took off her bra and his dick would just always be soft, and how he struggled to feel like something was wrong with him. It's just that weight he has on his chest. Joba, I like Joba's quick line of we're born with dollar signs attached to our temples, like them being creatives, their dollar signs are being taken advantage of, can be taken advantage of, so they have to like keep that close. I like Dom's reflective verse, although again, it's prevalent that Dom has these like, shh, I'm gonna speak, which you can get tired of. This is still, I like the sentiment here. I like how he asks why this world love echoing hate. He's talking to his mom for advice because I guess his mom could feel something was wrong from a country away. Although he's like has this weight on his chest, he's still trying to preach, you know, like self-love. He's trying to preach don't let the depression eat away at you. He's giving advice. And I like that verse for this. I really like Joba's outro. I thought it was Merlin. The thing I like about this song is that Joba switches it up. He switched up his flow in his verse. He even switched up whatever it was in the outro. He made his voice deeper or something. It almost sounds like Merlin in a way. That's the thing I like about Joba. He is the wild card. He experiments. He isn't afraid to experiment. It's sad to hear that he's trying to smoke the pain away, sip the pain away, eat the pain away. Reflecting that I went almost from like a high to like a low with this song. And I think that was purposeful. But yeah, shout out Kevin. I hope he's okay. Let's move on to the next song, District.
High in the distance, from me up. High in the distance, way ahead of this bitch. For myself, high in the distance.
Tell me where the ounces at. Tell me where the damn is ounces up. Hey, tell me where the ounces at. Tell me where the summer down. We are next to touch the
I want right nights like 5 lights with some middle grooves. I want place no strike.
So that was District. You know, I'm 7 songs into this album and I'm surprised there's still aspects going on that surprise me, that are different, that are interesting, that are just new, and I'm genuinely surprised and excited. And I feel like this is therapy for them. Like, I can hear it. I can hear it in certain members more than others. I really like Kevin's chorus. I feel like he really beefed it up instead of those one-liners. I really like Joba hating us with, you know, like, boom in your face Joba, and he's like, whoa, simmer down, simmer down, simmer down. I really liked that curveball. I wasn't expecting it. Bareface again comes with these like hypnotizing, eerie, like beautiful choruses. Dom and Matt sound the same to me. they sound the same to me. Like you could substitute them from any other song and it sounds the same. So it's just a little disappointing because I hear Joba trying these new things. I hear Merlin trying these new things. I hear Kevin, I hear Bareface switching it up. And I hear Constance is, and even the instrumental, like Romil, Jabari, Kiko, Bareface, they're switching it up like crazy. Are you kidding me? Have you not heard? Like, okay, you hear Sicko Mode, it's like, whoa, it sounds like 3 songs, like 3 different songs. No, this is 3 songs playing all at once. Like, what? And this isn't the only song that does that. It's crazy, and it sounds good. Like, fuck. Oh, and the outro for this song, it's even sweeter than the last song, Something About Him. Like, it says so much by saying so little. Sitting on your porch across parking lots and you light it up, better dodge the cops, and I'll never get sick of playing with your locks. I miss you lots, I miss you lots. Like, that shit's cute as fuck. You know he's talking about someone he's reminiscing about these good times with someone in parking lots at nighttime, and I just abandon parking lots, dodging the cops, like smoking, getting high with them. Like, that's cute. And it just sounds cute. Like, you can really hear it, you can feel it. But yeah, District, wow, that was another good song. But let's move on to the next one, Loophole.
I didn't mind getting jerked because I was like, I just want my record on the radio. I just want to shoot videos.
Get it poppin'.
I just want to get popular. Look, I don't care. Take my publisher. I don't know.
So Loophole, it's an interlude, obviously. I'm looking here, it's conversation between DJ WooKid and Cameron. So I think they have it in here just to show the fact that sometimes artists get taken advantage of. At the end of the day, artists, I'm sure Brockhampton has felt this way, but they want to be on the radio. They want to make their own videos. They want their creativity out there. And sometimes you'll just let anybody that offers you help, anybody that says, yeah, I can help you with that, like, let me help you, is actually taking advantage of you. There's a loophole. And so here I overheard that Cameron said he just wanted to shoot his own videos. He wanted his music on the radio, so he'd let these business people help him. But when he'd get the check at the end of the day, it wasn't like what he was saying other people were getting. He couldn't afford all the luxury cars. He couldn't afford all this fun. I think it's just maybe Brockhampton learning from the past mistakes that they have to do it their own way in order to get these big checks, in order to avoid these. They found the loophole. They found how to be successful on their own. I think it's just informing listeners, artists that are on the come up, artists that want to be like Brockhampton or have their art out there, to just be careful and realize that not everyone is here to help you to get your creativity out. Some people are out here to take advantage of you and your creativity. The dollar signs on your temples are going to get smaller, and you're only going to get a fraction of the dollar sign of your temple, and everybody else is going to get the larger fraction, if that makes sense. Let's move on to tape. Let's listen. Here we go.
The reason to get my bucks up, and the reason to care about society, ain't good enough for you just to hide.
Riding around to the dentist office, that's killing 2 birds in 1 stone. When I was younger, way before I was grown, I
Watch life unfold in between the tic-tacs, speeding down the one-way. Fuck these signs, fuck these lights.
Parasite, getting it from that side, emotions bleed. I can't believe how I'm slipping through.
So that was Tape. Beautiful, gorgeous. One of my favorite tracks so far. The strings, the soft piano keys. Joba and Romil really just killed it with this instrumental. This song emphasizes that theme of therapy for the group. Kevin is letting out his aspirations from the past and where he is now, like how he could there was a point where he couldn't write raps and wanted to, and now because of how successful his raps are, he has this male stripper doing belly dances for him and his boyfriend, like the contrast. But he also reveals, because of the music, he feels at fault for things that are going on with his mom. His mom can't walk, her lungs don't work like they used to. And he's worried that what he's saying, like revealing his parents weren't necessarily the best for him, may have affected his mom, because now she feels this immense guilt, at least from my understanding. We have Joba, who he has like a therapeutic verse. He's talking about his insecurities. He's feeling like he's losing his creative drive, feel like the light that I was blessed with has diminished. Matt feels like he's getting taken advantage of financially by this woman, I'm not sure who he's talking about, maybe his current girlfriend, past girlfriend, I don't know, maybe even his mother, I'm not sure. And he's talking about how him being in his position, he doesn't have the opportunity or platform to vent these things without facing criticism, because how can you feel like you have nothing when you have everything? And I feel like when you rise to fame, you're always belittled or just not heard when you have problems, because how can you? That's the toxic perspective some people have. It hurts to see that that's the case. And Dom and that crazy percussion is insane. It's funny because I've been complaining about Dom, but Dom has been some of the highlights so far. He's got 2 big highlights for me off the first track and this one. It sounds almost like Aphex Twinny, you know, because of his latest album and how Aphex Twin is just kind of crazy with the percussion. It also just reminds you of like Kanye when he's at his performing Runway and he's just, you know, messing with the drums and just like off the cuff, like the strings just add that layer of, hey, we're really going for it here. Top 5, top 3, top 2 maybe. To the next song, Jobert.
Fuck what you think and fuck what you heard.
So that was Jobert. I think this is the first time I hear Matt Champion try to switch it up a little bit, so I appreciate it for that reason. I also appreciate Merlin switching it up over this like avant-garde beat. Jabari is really proud of this beat. It's definitely, I think, one of the most experimental ones on this album. I think it works. I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. A lot of people are saying Jobo really goes into his verse, but quite honestly, I like it. I don't love it. It's very energetic, but it gets to the point where that's all you feel, that's all you hear. The content is overshadowed by just how loud and in your face he is, and it doesn't feel like it meshes too well with the beat. So for me, the song is kind of like, you know, this is the highlight of the song, his energy and everything, but I'm not really feeling it. I think Merlin does a better job with his lax rapping over this instrumental than Joba does. And Bareface is back with that interesting, different, he switches it up, chorus. I really like it. I think Bareface does a good job. He comes off, instead of this like tender, you know, crooner, he comes off as like this haunting, like, I don't give a shit rapper. An okay song. Let's move on to the next one, Honey.
One of the rappers is somewhere aside, say flight, never lean to the left or the right, cause they turn the other.
Honey by Brockhampton, produced by Kevin Abstract, Kiko, Jabari, and Romil. It sounds like Homework by Daft Punk, Beyonce, because I know it's sampled, and ASAP Had a Baby. Like, it's very Daft Punk for the first half, and then we get into Dom's like verse and then bridge, and then you hear the Beyonce with the Daft Punk, and you're like, okay. And you hear the sample for Bump, and they lower it a little bit so it sounds like ASAP, you know what I mean? Where he's like, does the, you know, like his iconic like deep voice. So this mesh of like Daft Punk, Beyonce, and ASAP, it closes really well. Like, I'm not sure if that's what they were going for, but I love, it's beautiful. I wouldn't expect Daft Punk, Beyonce, and like this ASAP Rocky sound to just sound so gorgeous. This song, I like it for its closing more than anything else. It sounds like you could play it at a club or something. If it weren't for the closing, otherwise it's just a little like, you know, it's okay. I like Dom's part with the beat. I like the feeling that it gave. And it's funny because Dom is like advocating for mental health in his verse, when I feel like if you're playing this at a club, a lot of people probably wouldn't hear it unless they were really listening. Let's move on to the next song, Vivid.
They don't touch on me with them diddles. I minimize all your credentials. I maximize all of my pesos. I want the best it can do.
So please don't get it mistaken. Opportunity's taken. They didn't want to be patient. We had to fight for the stain.
Money can go, tell me mommy, places as a store.
That was Vivid, produced by Q3, Bareface, and Romil. Real quick, so I saw Bareface produce this. Bareface is a big Dragon Ball Z fan. I don't know if anybody can get this to him, but Bareface, did you purposefully make this sound almost like Dragon Ball Z Bruce Falconery? Because it sounds like the synths sound very much like they'd be in the Dragon Ball Z like soundtrack. That da da. I can't replicate the sound, but this sounds very DBZ, and I love it for that. I love the Spanish included. Matt Champion actually switched it up a little bit more in this one. I like it a lot. I like it more than past Matt Champion verses on this album. Dom again gets a little redundant. Bareface, we've heard this type of chorus verse from Bareface throughout this album, so it's getting a little redundant at this point. Kevin's outro sounds very ASAP-y, but the instrumental, I can't get over how much it sounds like Bruce Falconery from DBZ. I really want to know if that's what inspired it, maybe, but that just might be me. An okay track. I think it just feels very much of a repetition of what we've already heard. But let's move on to the next song, San Marcos.
Who the hell you fooling? It's so obvious. I don't feel it, I don't see it. This is blasphemy.
Pray to work again. Put diamonds on my back. Put diamonds on my back. No time. Talking about torn between reality and a choice you could have made or should have made. They're not the same. I'm not the same. No, I don't change.
That was San Marcos, produced by Q3, Kevin Abstract, Bareface, Joba, and Romil. It sounds like Milk Part 2, and I think that was actually very purposeful, the guitar and everything. San Marcos is reflecting to when they first started, they all moved to like San Marcos, Texas. So for it to sound like a song off of Saturation is almost purposeful. It's that homage to their past that they're trying to leave behind, because the only way you can move forward is by relinquishing the past. So I think they're very aware of that. I think this is almost like the final time we'll hear that sound for a while. I really like Matt Champion's like whispery vocals at the beginning. It's another change that I wasn't expecting from Matt Champion this far into this album, because he has sound very similar, so it's nice to hear him switch it up a little bit when everybody else has been as well. I think that's the whole point of the song. It's more of the feeling, it's more of the reminiscing, it's more of the burying, leaving behind. It's part of the therapy of this song. I love the gospel at the end, the choir. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous. I love the sentiment, the significance, and what they were going for with this song. And I think that's what they were relying on heavily with this. And for that reason, it really resonates with me that it's a new beginning. It's another heavy song I wasn't expecting. But let's move on to the next song, Tonya.
I am sorry, I never become, because I'm afraid to do. I've been feeling like I don't know how I used to feel. Think about if we lose it all and now turn to shit that you never wanna do. Stare my brother, dad, or mother by my side, but they're a spirit. I always hear it. What's in your wallet, dead whites in mine, so sour in this light of lime.
So that was the first time we heard Tonya, the studio version, featuring Serpent with Feet, Ryan Beatty, and Jasmine Sullivan. It's produced by Dom, McLennan, Bareface, Joba, Jabari, and Romil. This song is a cathartic experience. This song came out after the Amir Vanna allegations, after they removed him from the group, after it seemed like Brockhampton was just on uneven footing. It's hard when you lose a member from the group, and it's even harder when you feel like they've wronged you. We still don't know exactly what Amir may have lied about. We just know he is responsible for relations with a minor. He's responsible for being emotionally abusive. And Brockhampton had to take the steps necessary to remove him from the group because it is not something they align their ideals with. And that's heavy because we know the history Amir has with Kevin. We know how long they were friends. We know that everybody, it's hard. It's hard to see someone who is your friend and have to make a tough decision like that. So this cathartic experience of Tonya is really felt not only in the music, not only in the strings, not only in the vocals and everything, the lyrics. It's just this is the beginning of their therapy, I think. And it's one of the best songs off of this album for that reason. With that context, the emotion behind it all, it's beautiful. It's beautiful and it's sad. It has that duality to it. Kevin reminisces about the past when things were simpler. It just everybody comes through with something that just kind of hurts my chest a little bit. I like Dom's verse especially in this one. But I'm not ashamed, I'm not afraid of who I am, or how I trust my mental. Yeah, it's not perfect, but I guess that's just the shit I'm into. And even Merlin's verse is great. It's fantastic. I really like his line of "What's in your wallet? Dead whites in mine, so sour in this light of lime." How he has all this money now, he has all these dead presidents, but it's sour in this light of lime. Like in the limelight, having all this money doesn't feel as fulfilling as he thought it would. It's crazy. It's beautiful. Bareface is fantastic. This song just, it hurts. It hurts, and for that reason, I think it really stands out. Let's move on to the next and final song, Fabric.
I can't sleep like I used to. The world will try to tell you who you are before you get to. They change on you. Why the hell the BBC only writes about me when it comes down to controversy? What's about 3 CDs in 1 year with no label? You don't understand why I can't get up and shout.
Get out, hey boy, stay rough, get buff, get out, the monster's swarm out.
You don't understand why I can't get up and shout.
That was Fabric by Brockhampton, produced by Romil, Dom, Jabari, and Kevin Abstract. It sounds like pressing like Super Mario, Super Nintendo sort of sounding like synths, and then we have like some Slim Shady sounding ass guitar in there. Then it builds up to this very like cinematic climax at the end. And the thing I love the most about this song is Kevin's line is, "You don't understand why I can't get up and shout." It's just emphasizing that fact that because they're famous, because of their position, they can't complain about what they're going through. They can't shout, they can't express themselves without the media twisting it and putting their own spin on it. Taking advantage of them for clicks, because that's what the media does nowadays. Kevin addresses this by saying, why the hell the BBC only writes about me when it comes down to controversy? What about 3 CDs in 1 year with no label? So when it comes to the sexual misconduct with Amir Van, they just saw it as an attention-grabbing headline. And BBC, it's not, from what I sound like, BBC never talked about Brockhampton, the fact that they have 3 CDs, no label. Instead, what's more appealing? The sexual misconduct one of their members had. And that's frustrating. It's frustrating because media that we live in nowadays, and I'm sure in the past, but now more than ever, is people will do anything for a headline. I like how Merlin switches it up with like his different vocal inflection. I like how Joba's basically asked for help in the simplest way possible. Bareface again is complaining about having an experience with someone that shares something he shared with them to the internet, and now he's paying for it because he trusted them and he couldn't have in the beginning. I think Fabric was a great way to end this album. I love Kevin's chorus. I love the build-up with the instrumental. Just wow. I'm impressed. But Iridescence. Let's talk about Iridescence. To be honest with you, when I heard that they were going to finish the album in the matter of about less than 2 weeks, I was scared. I was hesitant. I was worried. I was thinking there's no way they're going to make a quality album in less than 2 weeks. That is unheard of for me. I don't know of any other albums that take in less than 2 weeks. I'm used to a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, Blonde. That's what I'm used to. In 2 weeks, we're going to get the next Brockhampton album after they scrapped what I believe to be 2 other albums that who knows what they even sound like. Like, it's crazy. This was very much like, in my eyes, a make or break album because of their position, because of the sexual misconduct by Amir Van, because of what they've been through, because of everything they were dealing with. How were they going to top the Saturation trilogy? How were they going to keep it consistent? How are they going to switch it up? How are they going to captivate fans again after doing it with 3 albums? And they succeeded. They switched it up. The instrumentals aren't a backdrop. They are a character, like how any great setting in any movie or video game is a character in its own right. Instrumentals have always been, but with these avant-garde, with these off-kilter instrumentals, they still succeed to have their own personality. Like, you can visualize Romil, Jabari, Joba, Kiko, Bareface just working away at this beat to give the best possible product that they can come up with. We have Joba, who's switched it up so often, still switching it up. We have Merlin switching it up. We have Kevin adding more depth to himself than we've ever seen before. We have Dom switching it up. We have Matt switching it up. Although those two have not switched it up as much as the other people in the group, they're still making an effort to just give something new. It's crazy. It's crazy that this album, 4 for 4, that this album is just so good. I'm impressed. I'm floored. I'm flabbergasted. I'm sitting here just like, I didn't know this was possible. If I had to choose some top tracks, I'd say check out New Orleans, check out Thug Life, check out Where the Cash At, check out Tape, and check out, of course, Tonya. If I had to choose the worst tracks, which I believe there are very few, excluding the interludes, it's probably Something About Him and Vivid. But I still liked Vivid. It's just if I had to choose a worst track, and it's hard. I just know I didn't like Something About Him. I honestly didn't like that track very much. I can't, other than it being cute, we've heard Kevin do better. All right, now let's get down to the rating. Although I feel very strongly about this group, there are aspects that floored me. The instrumentals were fantastic. The album as a whole, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I don't justify giving it a 9 or a 10 out of 10 simply for the fact that there are aspects in this album where members did not switch it up, and that was, in my eyes, a hindrance to the possibility of a higher score. None of the instrumentals have I ever heard before in a Brockhampton album. Sister Nation from Saturation 3, I feel like, was a glimpse at what this album was. But there is no song in the last 3 albums you can compare on here other than probably San Marcos, but that was purposeful. Brockhampton continues to surprise me and continues to put out nothing but quality. Listen to this album. Buy it. Go to their shows. Find inspiration in what they do. Please check this album out. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching.